Hey guys, welcome to Hanging Out with Hamza. Today I have one of the most special guests that I've been dying to have on here. I'm super excited for this. I would say if there's like a peak episode, this is the one. His name is Jonathan. He's somebody that I admire, respect, look up to, and he's had such a big impact in my life, and it's an honor to have him on this podcast, honestly. And there's a lot to cover on here, so stay tuned. And thanks for hanging out with Hamza.
Hey y'all, this is Hamza, and I'm super happy we get to hang out for a little bit.
All right, guys, welcome to Hanging Out with Hamza. As I said, special guest episode today. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Jonathan, let him introduce himself for you.
Well, thank you for that introduction, brother. It means a lot. I appreciate those words. I'm Jonathan Diaz from the Dominican Republic, born and raised, been a dentist for 18 years now. And sorry about my accent. Hopefully,
It's the girls.
hopefully sounds good. I'm co-founder and local director of Bright Island Outreach. And
Well, with that being said, I want to kind of start off with introducing how I met Jonathan. So I was in dental school in 2017, and we had a plan to go on a dental mission trip, and we were lucky enough to come across Bright Island. And it was my first dental mission trip. I was super excited about it. I was super nervous. I didn't know what to expect in terms of comfort, and being my first time doing dentistry in a whole different place, and working with people that I've never met before. So it was a shock to me when I arrived that it was not only the most welcoming community I came across, but I also did some of the most inspiring dentistry I had ever done in my life. Granted, I only had 2 years previously with dental school, but it really invigorated my love for dentistry and like why I was doing what I was doing. And then I met this person there that I feel like, you guys know this podcast is about passion, and I don't think I can say anybody is as passionate as this human being next to me. And his passion is so it's just so invigorating, inspirational, and just infectious. And every time you're with him, you want to do so many things. And there's a lot of people out there that say they want to do this, and this, and then years go by, months go by, whatever, and it just doesn't happen, or they come up with excuses. Jonathan has done, I want to say 9 out of the 10 things that he's told me he's going to do. And that 10th thing he's probably working on right now. So there's no point where he's ever disappointed me with just talking too much. He's a man of action, and he's a man of real love and compassion, especially for the community of the Dominican Republic. So that's my long-winded answer of who he is, because I think he's also very humble and didn't introduce himself in that capacity. But yeah, I want to start off with Bright Island Outreach, who they are, how you started it, and what your goal was when starting this.
Yeah, so Bright Island Outreach started 12 years ago, but there's like 5 years in the making before it got to where it is. So the story of Bright Island is very particular. I graduated dental school when I was 21 years old. Here we don't do college, so we go straight from high school to dentistry, right? After I graduated, I got the opportunity to go abroad in Spain and work in a dental office. I worked there for 2 years, and then I have to come back. It wasn't planned that way, but I had to come back abruptly to the Dominican Republic, and I was a little bit not depressed, but not satisfied with how things were going. I was just 23 years old, and I was invited. My mother is the dean of the dental school here, and she wanted me to go on a mission trip. So I was like, I don't want to do mission trips. I want to work. I want to make money. I want to, I've been very selfish, I just want to make it. I just want to, make the money. I just studied for years, went 2 years to Spain to work, and I want to keep doing it. So after much convincing, because I've never done mission trips in my life. Like, we do it in dental school, but you do it for your grades. You don't do it because you wanna pass your classes and graduate. So So like doing it from the heart to help the people, that was not that was something that I've never like had the time to kind of like think about it, Yeah. So after too much convincing, I went to that day of mission trip and it changed my life. That was in 2008, and I promised myself that I want to keep doing it. So that same year, I did a bunch more of mission trips. And I had the opportunity to go with the U.S. Navy, the comfort ship in South America and Central America for 3 months. So in a spasm of 2 years, I did like more than 14 weeks of mission work.
Wow.
So I've never thought that would be my future. I knew when I got into dental school that I didn't want to be a dentist forever. I knew that I wanted to do something fun and awesome. So honestly, doing mission trips, I didn't know that was what's going to like set me up for the future that I wanted. But after 2 years of doing mission trips with a lot of people, I met Dr. Eric Harris, who is the co-founder alongside with me of Bright Island. And that week changed my life like forever.
Right.
So 6 months after we met, we brought our first group of 30 participants from Arizona. And since I was a professor in the dental school, he's a professor in Arizona as well. So we decided to like bring our students together in the Dominican Republic and do something like we were doing together, because Eric was doing a lot of mission trips as well. So for the first time, I was feeling like helping people was like, in a weird way, like helping myself.
Yeah.
So I kind of loved what I was doing, helping people, my people, right? The Dominicans. So getting to meet amazing volunteers traveling to do this was like pretty cool. So I was like, man, I kind of like that. So our first mission happened, and we decided like, hey, do you want to run this back again? In that first one, Doug, who is Eric's best friend from Arizona, came, and automatically he was like, we got to keep doing this. So that first year we did a few mission trips together, but nothing serious, nothing big, until the time came to expand. So we created Bright Island, we put the name, we funded it, we got our 503 in the States, we got our Dominican paperwork as well. So yeah, it's been a fun ride. 12 years, more than 50 mission trips just with Bright Island.
Yeah.
And I'll never change it for the world. Yeah. Like I met you in one of those trips, and the sentiment was equal. When I met you, I remember, and I was telling the boys that you guys were a group of what, 20-something?
Right, like 12, 15.
12, 15, yeah. But with other volunteers, we're a big group. So I noticed that you always wanted to like hang out with us and learn, and you were asking the right questions while the rest of the group were just like having fun and stuff during our breakout. So I noticed that there was something in you that we were gonna like keep working together or connecting. So I'm happy that it took 7 years now.
Yeah, thanks.
Until you finally are back here. So I'm so stoked about it,
man. And yeah, I wanted to mention like our relationship. It has been 7 years, but it feels like I've seen him throughout that entire time, because I've been on mission trips before. I've been on like events where I've gone a weekend and met really cool, interesting people, and then we say we're going to hang out again, we say we're going to meet, and then it just it ends. And that's just the nature of our modern world. Unfortunately, you make connections and they disappear, or people move on different ways. The thing with Jonathan that I wanted to mention is not only is he very passionate and very ambitious, but he's very loyal. And I feel like when we made that connection, I felt the same way. I was very kind of cynical. I was like, yeah, we'll keep in touch. I didn't know like if he meant anything by that, because I genuinely loved the group and I loved what they were doing. But every single year, without question, Jonathan would be like, yo, are you coming this year? Are you coming this year? Are you coming this year? For 7 years. And every year, obviously, I'm guilty of things just got so hectic that I just wasn't able to make the time. But I told him like, hey, like he proved his willingness for me to come, and I wanted to return that in some way. And I really genuinely wanted to come. I just had to figure out a time. Yeah. And so I told him, I was like, listen, I'm going to come. And when I come, I'm going to make sure it's worth it. Like, I'm going to make sure I can make things happen. And at the time, I had developed this relationship with Figs, who I'm very grateful for. And speaking of amazing groups to work with, Figs is another one that's really impacted my life in a positive way. And so I was lucky enough to go with Figs as an ambassador. And when I first initially interviewed with them, I told them, just like Jonathan, like, something that really invigorates my love for things is doing mission work and whatnot. And if you guys have any opportunities, I'd love to do that. And with that being said, I know a great group. And if you guys are ever interested, I'd love to introduce you to them. And it took some time. I think Figs was also figuring out their path of doing this, because it's a very big endeavor to take.
It is.
And so I was lucky enough to be invited to do a Kenya trip. And we did the Kenya trip, and it was great. And I feel like I was able to implement a lot of things I learned or help in certain capacity. And that earned a certain sense of trust from Figs to want to know, what this Bright Island that I kept talking about was, and what their outreach mission was, and how they help dental students and dentists. And so through that 7-year time, we somehow managed to manifest not only something that we both wanted to happen, because at that time too, I mentioned that I was working with Figs, and he was like, oh, we got to like do something cool with Figs. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to figure out a way.
Yep.
And just,
figure out a way to work with Figs.
Exactly. And it was just it was real manifestation. Like, we talked about it, and I got that spark from Jonathan, where I just, I had this ambition to do something for him, and we made it work. And here we are today. We're both in Figs, and we're on a Figs mission.
And I have my mustache because of you.
Yeah, just in case you guys are watching the video. If you guys aren't watching the video, you're missing out on a sexy mustache thing. But this whole trip was a dream come true for me. It's been kind of surreal this entire time being here, because just knowing that, this is something I've been dreaming about for the last 7 years is actually happening. There's been a lot of pinch me moments, and today's our 3rd day of doing mission work. We just finished at the clinic. Today was the last day of it. And I'm very happy to say, like, the Figs ambassadors did amazing. Jonathan and his group did such incredible work setting up this entire thing for us. And hopefully you guys will be able to see videos and pictures. I'll share them on Instagram. I'll share them online as well. But this is a lot of just bragging, but I also want listeners to understand Bright Island and how they can get involved with it as well. So, it's really inspiring how you started it. And with that being said, when you do these mission trips, how can people be involved, and do they have to be dentists? Like, what does it take to be part of Bright Island, and how can they help in any way?
So the way we started was trying to have dental students from the United States come here. Because here, when I went to dental school, I did over 200 surgeries.
Right.
And I know, because of Dr. Eric and the other co-founder, he's a professor in the States. It's like, we got to give an opportunity for our students to, have a little more real practice.
Right.
So I was like, this is the perfect combination of having American students to come here and elevate their skills while giving a service to communities that have never seen a dentist in their life. Yeah. So it's something that your listeners have to understand, that we're in El Valle. We're like in a very secluded area where there's no dentist in like 30 minutes from here, nowhere. So most of the community never been to a dentist. Like, even though it's far away, it's expensive for a lot of people. This is a tiny fishing community. So we started bringing the students to have that, but we noticed that we need more. Yeah. So right now we receive hygienists, dental assistant, dentist, anybody, but also non-dental volunteers are actually important as well, because we need the dentist to work comfortable. And so yeah.
And then, in terms of the non-dentists, I'm sure there's listeners on here that might not be dentists.
Yeah.
What would they be doing?
How
can they help?
They'll be assisting, organizing the patients, picking us up stuff, giving instruments, creating instruments, engaging with the community, making sure things are flowing. Because, I can bring 12 dentists, but if I don't have the staff to support those dentists, so So I have an amazing team here. My team, I shout out to my local Bright Island team.
Yeah.
I love those guys, and without them, this won't be happening.
Yeah.
This won't be possible. But there's always space for non-dental volunteers to come in and help, because we're helping people. So any little bit of help, even muscles to pick up stuff, or the sons and daughters of the dentist to play with the patients and just make that connection with the locals and enjoying the beautiful Dominican Republic.
Yeah. And I can say, being on these mission trips, while invigorating for me as a dentist and getting reinvigorated for the passion of dentistry, you also really appreciate how far your skills go to help the community of people that are in dire need of it. I think growing up in Western civilization or first world communities, you really can take dentistry for granted. And then when you come to a place like this, you really understand how important it is and how important your skills are in order to bring it to people in need.
Yeah, for sure.
And Jonathan is amazing at not only helping guide you along the way, whether you're a dentist or dental hygienist. The entire setup is so well organized. It's basically like they do everything in their power to make you able-bodied to treat a patient. Yeah. You'll never feel like you're missing an instrument or, like you're overworked or anything. If you feel like you're tired or sick or you're like whatever, they'll come take care of you immediately. Like their goal is to make sure that you're taken care of as much as the patient. And I think, some mission trips, unfortunately, I think like, it's the end goal is to help the patient. And sometimes they don't think about the doctors and their well-being. So I wanted to also transition into the other aspect of Bright Island, which is beautiful, which is the nature and the integration of, soul searching and being a community of dentists and doctors together who fall in love with each other and get to know each other and learn from each other. And everything with that is so beautiful because I've been able to meet some amazing doctors and dentists. Mm-hmm. I want to shout out Rahul, who I met on my first trip. After that trip, this guy was in, Pittsburgh and I was in Chicago at Midwestern, and we connected during this trip. And a couple of months later, we ended up going to Europe and doing a 6-country tour together and just like having an incredible time. And it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Bright Island and having that connection. So Bright Island also brings such an amazing community of people who love what they do, love helping people, and are just so open to everyone. And so, when I first came, we stayed in a tree house in the middle of the jungle. Like, it sounds unreal, but it's absolutely what I just described it as. And that's what Jonathan does, is he goes out of his way to make sure you have an unforgettable trip in the middle of nature to really appreciate like what the Dominican Republic is, like why he loves the Dominican Republic. He wants to bring that to you, and you eat the healthiest food every day. You're constantly taken care of by like the locals. People are so appreciative of you. Like most people, when they do mission trips, there's a point where there is a thing where you might feel unsafe, or you're in an area where you feel like you have to be careful or hide your belongings or whatever. The Dominican people are so friendly and welcoming and thankful for you being here. And Jonathan is like he's like Jesus of Dominican. Like people just know Jonathan by first and last name. And I think he's had such an amazing impact in the Dominican that like if you're around him or, in any way associated with him, people already like will take care of you and recognize who you are. And so I don't think he brags enough about this, and I don't think he mentions this enough. Everyone I talk to about Jonathan will say this and honor what a great person he is.
Thank you.
And I just felt like that needed to be said. But do you want to talk about that element of it?
Yeah, of course. I love this phrase or hashtag, depending on how you want to go. Travel with a purpose, or travel inspire.
Yeah.
Dominican Republic is one of the top tourist destination in the Americas, especially in the Caribbean. So a lot of people know Dominican Republic because of Punta Cana, right? But we're in El Valle Samana, and one of the most beautiful places in the world, and it's still like a hidden gem. So I like to bring the mission trips to communities where not only it's a need, but it's also beautiful. It's epic. Like we're right now in Saria, this amazing retreat center with the hostess, Chris and Hannah. We love them so much. And it's just a combination of a lot of things. Is that you're helping people, but you're also in the Caribbean, and why not make it fun? Why not make it excited? Why not make it to where you come and you fall in love with the culture, you fall in love with the Dominican Republic, with its people. So that's why I want to bring all the positive and beautiful elements of my culture and my country to each of the participants coming. So not only 3 days we're devoting it, or 4 days, depending on the length of the mission trip, we're devoting it to the service and to taking care of the people. But we also want you to see this amazing, beautiful half an island that we have, So I think it's a perfect combination of fun and work. Work hard, play hard.
Yeah. So that's basically like what it was like. So we would go to the clinic, just to give you a timeline of the day. We would wake up early. So, he really dedicates a lot of his time to do what he does here. And it's just an honor to be a part of it. But the other thing I wanted to dive into was going forward with Bright Island. Where do you see it going for the future? Do you feel like there's more things you want to spread Bright Island into? Do you feel like there's a lot more potential to it?
For sure, yeah. We've been doing this for 12, 13 years now.
Yeah.
And there's always space to improve the work that we're doing. There's always ways to, because when you're doing dentistry in this settings, you're not in the comfortable of your own clinic in the States, or here in the Dominican Republic. There are very nice, beautiful clinics, but we want to bring that experience of not only for the dentist to feel like you have your own, like what you work in home, but we want the patients to receive the best treatment. So number one priority for us is to make what we're doing better. I like not only, the accommodations or the logistic of the trip, for you to feel safe and have fun, but also the dental aspect. We want to make the clinic better. We want to have better treatments for our patients. So also we're doing a little bit of CE courses. Also, I feel like we have an amazing environment to grow as a dentist, connecting with, dentists like you and everybody that has been coming here. We have a lot of good, amazing dentists spread out all over the world that I'm pretty sure that if we start something with, giving courses or dental tourism or something, I'm pretty sure we can have the most amazing epic team. So yeah, the future looks very promising. We're working towards having a clinic for ourselves. Obviously, we've been saying this for a few years, like we want to have like Bright Island clinics all over the country, where our own volunteers can go and work and the patients receive the treatment for free. But I mean, that's a long shot of a dream. So we're working on one right now. Hopefully the stars align and we can have our own clinic in the future, a couple of years. But yeah, I think not only we want to keep providing free dental service for the people in need, we also want to focus on the dentist coming. Like you said, to remind yourself of why you choose this profession, to make you a better dentist, to make you a better person. One of our trips, we align with the dental yogis, so we called it the Revive Mission trip. So it's part yoga, part dentistry, and what we do is we get better so we can help the people more. So we're not only focusing on helping the patients, we also want to make an impact in those dentists that come with us, and like to spark the flame, or to just elevate their game, make you guys a much better professional, not only on your skill, but inwards as well. And to know that it's not only work, man, you gotta like live. You gotta understand that life is just not about money. It's not about, having a better practice, having a better car. It's about the people you impact and the way you change the world. So, and most of the dentists, we live in a bubble that you don't think I'm just putting veneers, I'm putting implant. Like, you're thinking about normal work, transaction. You do a service, you get money. But when we do mission trips, like, we are impacting people's life. We're taking care of their health. We're getting their, autoesteem like up. Especially we're in this beautiful tourist that is gonna like El Valle, like this is gonna be in a few years, hopefully, like something amazing, like worldwide renew. So imagine having all the locals here with a beautiful smile, making sure the tourists come, they receive them with a beautiful smile. Imagine if you're lacking a few teeth, like you don't want to be smiling, So dentistry can impact people's life on a much deeper level than we dentists think.
Yeah.
Especially in the USA, when you're just not doing it, I'm not going to say in every corner of the United States, but most of the dentists, they just want to do veneers, do implants, but there's a lot of needs and a lot of more needs that needs to be done. And having the opportunity to come and work with basic dentistry, not something like super, like a veneer that maybe a patient just wants aesthetically, but not functionally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here, everybody needs function. So it will change you and a little bit of your mindset on the dentistry.
And I can vouch for that because every dentist I finish treating, it's like the amount of gratitude and appreciation you get from it is more than I've received from any patient in America. Not that they're not gracious or anything, but it's a different level.
Yeah, it's a culture.
Yeah, exactly. And you treat somebody in America, I think they have that comfort of like, oh, if anything goes wrong, I'll see you in a week or two. Yeah. But here it's like, it's a luxury to them. Like they don't see a dentist every month or every 6 months for a cleaning. So for them, it's a life-changing thing. And you get to educate them on top of that and provide them with instructions on how to brush and all that. They don't get that in their natural life. And so we're giving that as well.
And we've been coming to this community for the past like 6 years now. And we've been seeing the same patients, and we see the fillings that we did 5 years ago, see the denture that need to maybe get a little better, so it's really cool to come back and see the patients waiting for you, and this community has been amazing, and we want to keep coming back and back.
Yeah, and the emphasis of what you're saying is the impact is actually there. Like, some mission trips, you go to a middle of the nowhere village and then you do dental work and then you disappear.
Exactly.
And it's like, what impact are you making? Whereas with Jonathan, he's been here for years. So the impact is being seen through years of people, finally being able to come back or follow up with it or educate others about going to see Jonathan. So like, we had over 100 people come. The news spreads fast about Jonathan doing his work, and it's an actual like event for the city and the community. They want to come. They want to get their work done. It's not like they're scared to come see us.
And they bring gifts. Like yesterday, we had some piña coladas by one of the locals. Today we have coconuts, fruits. They come and they give you like earlier a patient gave me like fresh coconut dulce de coco, so
it's great.
That's part of it, and I love it.
I see Jonathan just go up to all the locals and talk to them and have conversations and check in on them. Like, I think as a dentist, unfortunately, we live in an industry where pride and ego really takes over. And I think that's the unfortunate thing people lose with this profession, as well as a sense of community and like leveling yourself with people and understanding that we're here to help, not look down on them.
Exactly.
Like we could literally look down on them as dentists, but like not as thinking we're better.
Totally.
So being with Jonathan, it's great because he reminds you of just like what this profession means and like what our real purpose in this world is. And it's beautiful, and he's been successful at it in so many ways.
We'll try.
No, you're doing great, man. And it's I have so many personal questions, but I wanted to make sure that we cover all the Bright Island things you want to talk about. Is there anything that you want to mention or like bring to like is there anything people don't understand about Bright Island or you wish they knew more about?
Well, this is an amazing opportunity to travel, to get to meet amazing people, get to do dentistry in a very special way. But also, this is an adventure, man. Like really every trip is different. Every trip we try to go to beautiful places in the Dominican Republic. But it's a mix of everything. So if you're ever deciding to come on vacation, like this is the perfect vacation because it's not only that you're just going to go to an all-inclusive and just dance and drink and just lay in the beach 24/7, here you actually get to see the real Dominican Republic. You get to travel, you get to talk to people, you get to eat our food, you get to help, and when you're helping and you're having fun, it's just a lot of positive and good emotions. So, and it's just a perfect combination of things, So So check us out. Go on our website, Instagram. Maybe we'll pull up a link on your Instagram to get the Hamza deal to come with us.
Well, for anyone that's interested in going on this, I'm going to share all the links and everything on the bio of this podcast episode, but as well, you can go on my Instagram, and I'm going to have all the stuff from this trip hopefully posted soon. Follow Figs, check out what Figs has done with bio.
And a big shout out to Figs. It has been an amazing opportunity to collaborate with such an amazing organization, man. Everybody, Carol, Denise, Matthew, the crew, Jordan, what a bunch of amazing people, dude. Right? Amazing humans.
I mean, I'm not somebody to kiss up to any company or anything without fully supporting it, and Figs has just constantly supported me through so many incredible things, and I've seen them do such incredible things.
And us as well. They donated these scrubs 6-7 years ago. I think the same year that you came, we hit them up on Instagram, and all of a sudden we got a package of 10 scrubs.
That year was just
7 years ago. I still wear them.
It's amazing. And they are always looking to do what they can to help the community, whether it's, an impact trip or just donating scrubs or donating oxygen tanks. They've done an endless amount of things that they don't even speak about. And I think in this capacity, they did this mission trip just by trusting my word, which I think speaks volumes for a company, just to listen to a healthcare worker talk about what they believe in.
Which we appreciate. And also a shout out to the ambassadors, man. Those dentists were amazing.
And they came with the intention to see as many as they could. Help as many as they could.
We have to kick you guys out to eat lunch. You didn't even want to take lunch breaks.
I mean,
it was awesome witnessing the passion that you guys.
I think this whole trip was very lucky, and in so many ways, I think it was definitely a manifestation, but it was also just something that was an opportunity for really incredible people to all come together. And during this trip, what I can also mention is, for anybody that is interested, the other 1,000 positive things you get is you get to work with other Dominican dentists and learn from them. And I think that was my biggest takeaway from this trip, is working with Laura and all these amazing dentists who are so incredibly skilled and talented at what they do as dentists. And then I find out, how they sacrifice their own income and time to come here to do stuff for you. These Dominican dentists, they take their time to come here and do this work for you. And, for us, it's we come on vacation, we have fun and stuff. But for these Dominican dentists, they live in Dominican. They know what it's like. They've been here before. They do it because out of the pure goodness of their heart, and they love it for Jonathan.
They love it.
They come here because they genuinely want to help. And it's so inspiring to see and watch them work and learn from them in my own ways. I've learned so many cool techniques and things from these dentists, and I want to give a shout out to all of them. If there's any specific ones you want to mention.
No, everybody. I mean, they know who they are.
It's hard to keep track. There's I can't even keep.
It's the BioCore,
and they're amazingly loyal and so positive. I get a hug from everyone every day. I never feel like I'm out of place ever.
And a shout out to Deb, my beautiful wife. Yes, she. If it wasn't for her, she makes me do this,
If you guys
follow it, so
if you guys see them, you understand what true love is, and it's amazing to see them together and their beautiful child now, Julieta, and it's amazing. So, if there's anything that I haven't covered, if you have any questions for me,
dude, just keep doing what you're doing, brother.
I appreciate it.
You're inspiring us as well here. We keep an eye on our volunteers that come, and you have been one of our top ones. Thanks forever. So, man, so proud of everything that you're accomplishing, and let's keep it going.
I'm so proud of you, dude, and I appreciate it. And with that being said, if you guys are interested in Bright Island outreach, if you're interested in following Jonathan, I will share all of his information on this link, whether it's YouTube or podcast. If you guys have any questions, Jonathan's an open book. He will be able to respond when he can, and he will bug you about visiting when you do. And yeah, please check out Bright Island. Go on their website, volunteer, help when you can. I promise if you're a dentist and you're having, troubles with your current career and you want to reinvigorate your life, go on one of these trips. It'll make a huge difference.
Travel with a purpose.
Exactly. So that being said, I love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
Hug it out.
Let's freaking hug it out.
I'm glad to have to do this. All right, guys. All right. For listening, hanging out with Hamza. I'm going to sign out now. Take care. Bye. Thanks, man. All right.